USC.
Behind. And right. Haley. Yeah.
And Holly, we saw it in the first duel of the day. The wind is going to be a huge factor.
The wind is higher than we've seen all weekend long, and both teams really need to factor that into their team strategy.
UCLA has experience today with the wind, but this is USC's first time playing today. And there's a point for USC, Abby Van Winkle at the net.
And there you see the height of the USC pass and the height of the set. In my opinion, a little too high in this wind.
It helps if you can get that set down low because the ball will carry. We've seen it so many times today.
Right. Haley.
Lindsay Sparks pokes over the block.
Nobody. Yay! Let's go.
And USC with a scrappy point.
Haley Harwood runs that ball down for USC. Really clean down the middle kill. We'll see if USC makes that adjustment. In the wind, you want to keep it pretty low so the ball doesn't move on you when you're going in to attack it.
Haley Hallgren back to serve. Sparks. Oh, Harwood got there, but just a little late.
Lindsay Sparks continues to use the entire court. We've seen all types of offense from her. Lots of pokies, but she uses the entire court. This
has been such a consistent pair for UCLA of Sparks and Abby Van Winkle. 10-0 career record as a pair, but they've played together before even arriving at UCLA.
They grew up on the junior circuit. They're best friends on and off the court and played lots of tournaments, spending their summers on the beach together.
Remember, we played to 21 points in the first 2 sets. You have to win by 2. Harwood serving.
Right. Haley. You're up.
Great layout by Harwood.
Line.
Haley Harwood is a dynamic defender. She played indoors at Long Beach State. She was a libero and then had to hit outside when their outside hitters were injured. She can get up and thump the ball and run down all sorts of balls for USC in the backcourt.
It's been a different experience for her at USC. It's really a beach focus only. The first time she's been solely focused on the outdoor game.
UCLA winning the side change. Sparks and Van Winkle grew up playing together. You see them in high school winning the Triple Crown, which is prestigious on the beaches of California.
Yeah, they were the first team to do that, winning the Best of the Beach, AAU Nationals, and AAU Junior Olympics. It's not often you have that much chemistry and connection with your partner before you get to college.
And then they get to go to college with one of their best friends and then get to compete on the biggest stage together.
They have not lost a match at this tournament yet. There's a big swing from Hallgren.
Haley Hallgren on the bad side, winded her back, but she is aggressive when Abby Van Winkle leaves the net open for her.
Well, Dane Blanton, we spoke to him before this duel. He wanted them to be very physical in the wind.
Dane Blanton feels that his USC beach volleyball program is the most physical team in the country, and he wants them to use that.
There's Dane Blanton in his second season as the head coach at USC, taking over an outstanding program from Anna Collier. Of course, he's an Olympic gold medalist. It's much easier for the coaches in this championship duel because only 2 courts are playing right now as opposed to all 5 like we saw on Friday.
Yeah, Dane Blanton said that works to his advantage because he's allowed to coach. That's what he wants to do, so he can sit with the pair and finish a match out with them.
Harwood, Sparks there to clean it up. Oh, and they're getting USC in the net. You can hear Abby Van Winkle saying, "It wasn't me."
Abby Van Winkle was turning to block that ball. This ball blocked tight, and then Haley Hallgren trying to poke it over before it hit Abby Van Winkle's block.
So net violation gives the point to UCLA. Grazes the tape. What an up by Harwood, and they eventually turn it into a point.
Great side out. Haley Harwood slides under that ball, lifts it for her partner, Haley Hallgren, who just terminates onto, this is not an easy play, but the lift of the pass from Haley Harward, perfect.
Hallgren and Harward had some work to do after their first 2 duels. They lost their last 2 duels, their matchup with FSU and LMU, but coming out strong here. Remember, 3s and 5s in action right now. You can see the 5 streaming live on the ESPN app. Van Winkle wins the battle at the net.
The advantage of being on the good side, the ball's gonna drift toward the net into the hands of Abby Van Winkle, who wins this battle at the net.
Is it an advantage that UCLA has played in this wind already today?
I think it is a little bit of an advantage. I know USC came out early trying to get a long warm-up, but a little bit of an advantage because they've already played in this wind and they know how to manage it.
I will say Sparks and Van Winkle came out even with the wind in their first duel of the day, and they looked solid. They were locked in. Good shot there from Hallgren.
Abby Van Winkle, the UCLA blocker, diving into the angle. Haley Hallgren recognizing that and going short line.
Watch it over. And go. Line.
Harward does go line.
Haley Hallgren is so good when she waits on her approach. She's so quick. Sometimes she comes in early and doesn't make great hand contact on it. Look at that contact, great redirection down the line.
Stuck in the net. Oh, the hustle plays from Lindsay Sparks. Harward, though, is going to make them pay.
USC able to get Lindsay Sparks out of system. This ball really tight to the net. Abby Van Winkle does all she can to save it. That pass is a little high by Haley Harward, but she's able to get a good hand contact, hit that ball into the wind.
Now you worry about the height on the pass in these conditions because the ball can sail away from you quickly.
There you see the lower offense from UCLA on the bad side, just going over the big block of Hallgren.
And UCLA runs a faster tempo offense, which might be better in this condition.
They do. Stein Metzger for the last couple of years has really encouraged this quick offense, opening things up in the side out and really putting a lot of stress on their opponent's defense. Haley Hallgren just splitting the middle. The blocker dove angle, and Lindsay Sparks was waiting in the line. This is a great angle. The blocker goes angle and then right between the line defender in the angle block.
Harward's there. She'll get the swing off the fingertips of Van Winkle.
Haley Harward's doing a really nice job staying disciplined in her approach. Not only is she running down balls defensively, but then transitioning those for kills.
She has a fantastic skill set for the beach.
She's so quick. She must jump 40 inches, if not close to that.
Yeah.
So when she digs the ball, she is going to go up high and terminate like that.
And she's got a heavy arm.
H-bombs, H squared. Haley Hallgren, Haley Harward off to a great start at the threes.
So they will take a seat. USC up at the threes. We want to remind you, too, for scores and updates, you can get this feed right now at ncaa.com. It is on the main page, so you can keep track of all the scores on every court, and, of course, every court streaming live on the ESPN app. 3s and 5s, the only 2 pairs in action right now. Let's check in on Audrey Norse, Nicole Norse facing Riley Powers and Jaden Whitmarsh. There's some history here. They met in the Pac-12 final. It came down to this court, and UCLA got it done.
Well-placed high line shot over Riley Powers. This team very familiar with one another. 8 days ago, they faced off, and UCLA was the victor.
What was the difference for UCLA in that one?
I thought USC just played tight, and UCLA was very confident. They were at home playing on Mapes Beach, where they're very comfortable, and they played that way. Jaden Whitmarsh has been so calm under pressure. I'm so impressed. This is her first year in the lineup as a starter, and she's been so good when it counts.
Let's go down to Christine, who's been watching the fives.
Yeah, it has been an absolute block party, specifically for Riley Powers. She had 3 blocks in a row. She has 5 blocks total, so they've been really doing a great job along the net.
And Christine, they've had to ask her to do more blocking. They had 3 blockers who did not return this season for various reasons, so she's had to step into that role. The swing from Audrey Norse.
Riley Powers, as a junior player, was a split blocker with Lexi Denneberg. So she played a lot of defense and now really getting good at the blocking skill.
The Norse twins 27-3 on the season. They have the most wins by a USC pair all year. And it's going to be a net violation on USC.
That UCLA offense is so low that the USC defense is committing a little too early and showing what's open. They need to hide and disguise what they're showing defensively.
Nicole Norse attacking off of Riley Powers.
That ball blew wide, and Nicole Norse, the lefty of the 2 twins, had to use her right hand out of bounds.
So they will take a seat. We will step aside. National championship underway in Gulf Shores.
Made a huge difference. Every player on the UCLA roster has talked about the blocking impact he has made. Riley Powers, a converted blocker, is owning the net for UCLA. Look at that press. You see the fire. I mean, this is an area that UCLA never was that strong in, but now with Jose Loyola guiding them, they've made a huge impact.
It's been so impressive for Stein Metzger also just to go out and see an area they needed help with and go get somebody to help them in that area, and it's helped them get back to the national championship duel.
It certainly has. Another interesting fact is the Norse twins for the last year have trained with Jose Loyola, so he is very familiar with their game, and he is on the UCLA bench.
Yeah, just joined the program back in January to work with UCLA, was training a bunch of different players. It's a small volleyball world. Comes Audrey Norse over that block of Riley Powers.
Great hustle by the Bruins, but USC taking care of business. Audrey Norse puts it away. That ball off Jaden Whitmarsh's chest, and then look at the one arm and the power to get that over the net.
Audrey Norse serving. Nicole Norse grabs the line.
Great defensive move by Nicole Norse. She drops into the cut shot, just good reaction, and then deep shot high over Whitmarsh.
Holly, I know you've trained the Norse twins, and you've talked about how much they love to work and how hard workers they are.
They do. They work all during that shutdown. I mean, they had this goal. They wanted to come into USC and battle for an NCAA championship. That time, hands were not together and the ball was not driven, so that the double contact UCLA ball.
And they had a 26-match win streak from March spanning to April. They played at the threes last year in the shortened season for USC. That shot wide from Audrey Norse.
Audrey Norse trying to attack into the wind, right idea, but Jaden Whitmarsh is there, and that ball sails wide.
So you see Whitmarsh calling out the blocking signals, Powers for Whitmarsh, who is serving. They saved it. Pokey gets the job done by Whitmarsh.
The block for UCLA affecting the Norse twins of USC right now.
Want to remind you, tonight's Sunday night baseball game, the series finale between the Phillies and the Braves. Coverage begins at 6 Eastern with Baseball Tonight Sunday Night Countdown. Then it's game time between the Phillies and the Braves at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. So they will switch sides at the 5s. We're playing to 21. You have to win by 2.
Powers and Whitmarsh just continuing that momentum. They're on a roll, and Riley Powers, when she is blocking that many balls at the net, we know Whitmarsh is going to be in the backcourt touching everything defensively.
And three out of the last 4 duels for UCLA have come down to the 5s. That won't be the case today, playing in flights, but that means Powers and Whitmarsh, they've proven they can handle the pressure. Whitmarsh.
UCLA so accustomed to that little low offense that in the win, they're not really effective. All the other schools that run that higher offense, trying to make that adjustment, they're not as comfortable.
And then there's a really tough serve from Whitmarsh.
Jaden Whitmarsh just hammered that through the block left-handed. She is feeling it.
At the 3s, it's set point for Hallgren and Harward of USC. Lindsay Sparks grabs the corner. 5s on the left side of your screen. Roll shot from Nicole Norse will keep it going. Still set point at the 3s on the right side. Oh, and a service error by UCLA gives the opening set at the 3s to USC.
That's a big win for USC at the number 3 spot. Last time those 2 teams met, it went differently.
So we'll focus in on the 5s. These are the only 2 pairs in action right now. When they're complete, we'll see the 1s, 2s, and 4s. Backside to Whitmarsh, right into the shoulder of Nicole Norse.
You see the aggression. I mean, there's no tentative part of Jaden Whitmarsh's game. She's feeling it. She comes in aggressive, power, and that ball hit high at Nicole Norse. She needs to overhand dig that ball. She's in a perfect spot.
And the set will go to UCLA.
The serve was the difference at the end, but it was Riley Powers blocking and Jaden Whitmarsh aggressive offense that was the difference.
Then watching a championship duel, we've got the 3s and the 5s in action right now. And at the 3s, it was Haley Hallgren and Haley Harward taking that opening set. Harward looked pretty strong.
Haley Harward is known for her defense, but she was serving well, and we saw her dig and transition for lots of points. You hear the communication. Good set by Hallgren, and then boom for the USC point. This is a pair that struggled against UCLA. UCLA won the last matchup in the Pac-12 championships.
And they had struggled here, losing their last 2 matches, but they look different today, and that's a great thing for USC.
Got a senior and a grad student for the Haleys.
Hallgren serving. Gets UCLA out of system. Hallgren, yes! Let's go down to Christine, who's been watching the 3s.
You guys talked about how last time these 2 teams matched up, this USC pair was not able to get it done. Between the sets, they looked at each other and they said, we already knew we were capable of doing that. Keep doing what we do. And if they make adjustments, that's great. We'll make adjustments too.
Christine, they've got that experience being seniors and a grad student, like you said, Holly.
Yeah, I think that comes into play. And this is what they've played for all season long. They want to be in this moment and play their best volleyball.
Haley Hallgren has been here before. She was at the 3s for the NCAAs in 2019.
A little delay in the swing of Lindsay Sparks catches Haley Harward kind of change in directions, able to get that ball down.
She makes some incredible plays. Steinmetzger calls her the magician.
Yeah, she changes the tempo, slows her arm down, speeds it up, all sorts of different things that can really challenge the defense.
And on the sand, you know, it's only you and your partner, so you've got to be able to change things up and keep the defense guessing, especially when you've played a team a couple times like they have USC.
This particular pair has only played USC once, but they have matched up against these players throughout their career in the summers on the beaches of California. Haley Hallgren out of Texas, but she spent some time growing up playing in tournaments against all of these players.
Service error for Hallgren. So Abby Van Winkle will take her turn. UCLA must win this set to extend the match at the threes.
Abby Van Winkle doing a late drop into the angle, and Haley Harward being aggressive, attacking at her when her feet aren't under her. This is a very smart play. You see Abby Van Winkle on the move, hard to change directions and get this ball. Aggressive serve by Harward. She is feeling it, and really, this is the best I've seen her play in a long time.
She looks great, just her second season on the beach at USC, had that shortened season last year.
There it is, you see the magic. Lindsay Sparks going with her left hand to control the ball with your left hand, to have it not go a different direction. Good control right over the block.
Lindsay Sparks, what a complete player. Offense, defense with a tough serve.
Can we talk about the angle of that serve?
Wow.
Lindsay Sparks is 5'8". She is being aggressive into the wind, but this is the hand contact. You see the spin on that ball, dropping that for the UCLA ace.
She'll follow it up with a service error, gives the point back to USC.
Steinmetzger has been encouraging the UCLA tough serves. He wants them to go for it. He's okay with a couple misses.
Van Winkle's turn with Hallgren in her face, not a problem.
Pretty hand set, and you hear the set and the call. So important. Abby Van Winkle, you give her the right call, she's going to put it in the open sand.
Steinmetzger talks so much about TLC, turn, look, and call.
There's Jenny Johnson-Jordan, in my opinion, the backbone of this UCLA beach volleyball program. Steinmetzger says nothing but amazing things about her and what she's brought to this program. She's an NCAA champion indoors, she's an Olympian, and now as a coach for UCLA.
Was the AVCA National Assistant Coach of the Year in 2019 when UCLA won their second title.
Haley Hallgren, Haley Harward really looking confident. They're playing crisp volleyball, and that's important when you're facing a scrappy team like Van Winkle and Sparks.
USC's had a little bit more time to rest as they made their way to this championship duel through the winners portion of the bracket. UCLA had to play earlier today and were able to get past LMU.
That's all about the tough serve by Harward. The tough serve that drops, pops over on one, and then USC gets a free point in transition. You hear Haley Harward saying, "You are so good at that," and she is.
You can tell the USC pair feeling it right now. Absolutely.
Everything going right for the USC pair at the 3 spot.
If Hallgren and Harward win this set, they will put a point on the board in the duel for USC. Service error.
Straight up defense. Abby Van Winkle's going to block line on both players.
And it comes down between her and the net.
It's important if you're the blocker that you're disciplined with your hand press over the net so that ball can't come down on your side of the net.
Again, Sparks and Van Winkle have not lost a match in this tournament. That's in danger right now. Great turn and save by Hallgren.
You, Dad. 10. High line! Go!
Stuffed!
Haley Hallgren taking advantage of that tight ball and grabbing it to end that long rally. Transition set here, blows towards Haley Hallgren. Strong hands, she makes no doubt about it. That's a USC point.
Hallgren comes from a beach family, or a volleyball family. Her mom, Wendy, played volleyball at Georgetown. She actually didn't want to play volleyball at first, but then once she did, never looked back.
Her younger sister, Harper, on the USC beach volleyball team.
Technical timeout here at the 3s, so we go back to the 5s, where Powers and Whitmarsh took the opening set. 21-13, but just a 2-point second set right here.
USC on the better side with the wind in their face.
So they can go aggressive on the serve and aggressive on their attacks. This will be Nicole Norse. Or Riley Powers can do that.
Riley Powers recognizes what the defense is doing. See an angle block, but she drops late, hoping to get a little shot into her lap, but that doesn't happen. Riley Powers goes deep cross court.
Nicole Norse.
The same exact play Nicole does right back at Riley Powers. She comes inside, Riley Powers steps inside, late drop into the angle, and then deep ball for the kill.
Audrey! Go!
An ace for Audrey Norse.
Check, ladies.
Aggressive from the service line. Technical timeout. Trojans trail by.
Documentary 144, which features last year's WNBA season in the bubble at IMG Academy in Florida. Chinea Gumuke is the executive producer of the film, which explores as the season dedicated to social injustice. 144 premieres Thursday at 9 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. Courtney Lyle, Holly McPeak, and Christine Williamson with you for the championship. The 3s and 5s in action right now. 1s, 2s, and 4s will start about 12 minutes after they complete. It has been very close at the 5s after a dominating first set by UCLA, Powers, and Whitmarsh. Service error.
Anytime you can score 5 points off a block, your team's going to be at a huge advantage, and that was the case in the first set for UCLA.
The Norse twins have adjusted. Still going to 21 here in the second set. This is Riley Powers behind the service line. Audrey Norse. Oh, Whitmarsh, yes! Wow!
Defense by Jaden Whitmarsh. I like the adjustment by USC. They ran a quick little back set. That's the right idea, but you can't hit it right at Jaden Whitmarsh. She is going to dig that ball and then give you something special back. That's something Stein Metzger asked her to do. Be the most creative offensive player out there, and you see the topspin on that little drop shot.
I feel like every time we watch her, we see something new out of her bag of tricks. Dug it through the line, poked it to the back, oh, but long.
Jaden Whitmarsh digging everything, missing on that transition, poking it a little bit long. But when your defense is touching everything, that is a good sign that you guys are using the right game plan and executing at a high level.
Audrey Norse, she will get the back line.
Big swing, and you heard during that rally, bring it down, because you want a lower set you so you can time it and it doesn't move on you.
Now you don't want the wind to carry it. It has been very windy all day. Since the first thing in the morning, the wind has been a factor. Jaden Whitmarsh with the left hand?
Left hand again. She's making good hand contact. I don't know if they teach that at UCLA, but we've seen her do it, and we've seen Lindsay Sparks as well.
Nicole Norse dug up again by Whitmarsh.
Great dig by Jaden Whitmarsh, but USC right now just attacking at her. Make her move, hit away from her. I like the aggressive swing, but if it hits Jaden Whitmarsh's platform, it's gonna pop up, and then Riley Powers able to turn and poke it for a kill.
Audrey Norse, that went through the block of Powers.
Riley Powers just a little bit late on her press, and Audrey Norse powers it right through the wickets.
So side switch here.
Gustavo Rocha from Brazil as well, the assistant for USC, talking to Audrey and Nicole Norse on the side change.
And then you saw Stein Metzger there with the UCLA pair.
Stein Metzger yelling, no middle ace, take care of the middle.
They've given up one of those already. Not on that play. Powers. I mean, you've got to have so much confidence if you're Powers and Whitmarsh. They have clinched the last 2 duels for UCLA.
And the last time these pairs have faced off, the last 2, UCLA has come out on top. You see Jaden Whitmarsh's hands. They're saying serve and block line. Net violation, Riley Powers.
Point for USC. 2-point game. USC has to win this set. Raising the tape.
Nobody.
Nicole Norse, there was a touch on it.
Riley Powers made a late block move, and now UCLA calling a timeout to slow things down.
So we'll look in on the threes. Hallgren and Harward took the first set. Sparks and Van Winkle had not lost a set here in this tournament coming into the championship duel. Van Winkle, yes!
Abby Van Winkle playing some defense off the net. She loves to use the perimeter. At 6'2", you'd think she'd want to hit it straight down, but she uses the perimeter, and it makes it tough to defend.
Well, there's a service error. When we were over watching the fives, Haley Harward had a monster play we've got to show you.
Look at this pursuit ball. She does it better than anybody. And the elevation and attack, wow, she is on fire.
I mean, this H-bomb group, that's what they call them. They bring the heavy arm. They have been locked in since first serve.
Yeah, they came out ready to go. And like you said, a senior and a grad student. This could be one of the last chances they have to be on this stage. They want to make the best of it.
Well, they are 2 points away from putting a point on the board in the duel. Just long. They look relaxed.
They do. They look really relaxed.
Hard with the bump set to Hallgren. Out.
Haley Hallgren going so aggressive, trying to crush that line, just missing it long.
Great pop, great pop.
But they're loose, they're smiling, they're staying together. Volunteer assistant coach Laurel Weaver talking to them, keeping them relaxed. And there's Dane Bland, the head coach of USC.
Abby Van Winkle, hello at the net.
Net violation.
Oh.
This ball is blowing towards the net. Abby Van Winkle goes and throws it down. Not sure. I did not see a net on the first play. Ooh.
Oh, right there. Her wrist gets it. That's huge. It gives match point to USC. We'll play on.
Lindsay Sparks hammering it through the block of Hallgren, but USC has a chance to side out.
Lindsay Sparks' serve has been super tough today. They need it here. Haley Harward! USC's got a point on the board.
Pair 3 really stepped up. They came out and played their best volleyball of the season as a pair. Put the first point on the board here.
Lindsay Sparks and Abby Van Winkle, their first career loss as a pair. They were 10-0 before that, had not lost a set in this tournament. But the threes have finished. We're now watching the fives. UCLA can even up the duel with a win here in the second set.
Slow walk and talk with Gustavo Hocha, the assistant coach for USC, at the pair 5 spot.
There's Riley Powers. Nicole Norse banks it off the block.
USC patient, covering the play, staying in it. When you play a team like Riley Powers and Jaden Whitmarsh, you have to be ready for the ball coming back often.
Service error.
Ball dribbles on the USC side instead of over.
Jaden Whitmarsh with the serve. She won the match against LSU with her serve. That grazes off the block, and we're tied at 19. You have to win by 2.
UCLA has been going at Audrey Norse. This time they go at Nicole Norse, who goes high line over the block. Jaden Whitmarsh tries to get there, but can't.
Wide! It's gonna be set point USC.
Nicole Norse started that rally with a block, and then Jaden Whitmarsh out of bounds.
USC trying to force a third set. Here comes Powers. Yeah, she got it.
Pretty set by Jaden Whitmarsh, pushing Riley Powers right up to the net. Riley Powers is unafraid. She comes in so aggressive, hitting this ball hard angle.
Nicole Norse. Oh, Jaden Whitmarsh, it does go out. Second set point for USC.
Jaden Whitmarsh touching everything defensively.
All weekend long.
And you got left. Yes!
Evens it back up.
Jaden Whitmarsh in such a nice side out rhythm. She's moving it around the court, and she comes in hard. The key is her hard approach. You don't know whether she's going to shoot it or hit it. comes in hard, good wrist away down that line.
So they switch sides, the walk and talk happening. Stein-Metzger talking to his UCLA pair. USC has had 2 set points. It's long, it's gonna be match point, UCLA.
That ball blew tight, high poke shot, flies long, and Jaden Whitmarsh gets another shot.
USC wants to take a timeout. They had 2 set points, and now it is match point, UCLA. This pair of Powers and Whitmarsh, they don't stop.
They're relentless. They really are. I mean, Riley Powers having a great blocking match, but Jaden Whitmarsh digging everything.
Well, Jaden Whitmarsh has been waiting for this moment and preparing to help out her team at the national championship.
I'm excited that it could come down to my court. I'm excited that all like the work that's been put up until nationals is going to be shown. All the adversity that's had to be overcome is just going to come down to who's most prepared, and I'm really excited to be able to have that opportunity to represent UCLA.
Well, UCLA has played 5 duels in this tournament, and it has come down to her court 3 times.
Yeah, and she's been prepared. I love it. I mean, just the confidence from Jaden Whitmarsh. Her father, a silver Olympic medalist in the 1996 Olympic Games in beach volleyball. Mike was a great competitor, and I feel like he's passed that on because Jaden is so calm under pressure.
It's been really fun to watch her play. But if you're USC right now, you've had 2 set points. How do you refocus here?
Well, it's one contact at a time. It's so important. You see Dane Blanton and Gustavo Hocha talking to the Norris twins. One contact at a time. USC's on the good side. They just need to execute, and they know how to do it.
So here we go, out of the timeout. A point for UCLA evens the duel. And it will be Jaden Whitmarsh continuing to serve. Nicole Norris, nobody on. Whitmarsh, oh, shoved back over by Nicole.
Nicole Norris with no block at the net usually puts that ball away, but Jaden Whitmarsh gets it. Fortunately for Nicole Norris, she gets a second chance and blocks that down for USC, tying it up.
Have to win by 2.
And you got no one!
Whitmarsh goes behind. Second match point, UCLA.
Jaden Whitmarsh staying aggressive, and Audrey Norris right there to dig that ball. You need to know that Jaden Whitmarsh is going to bring the heat when the game's on the line. Well executed side out there. You hear the high line call. Jaden Whitmarsh, the defender, runs to the high line. Nicole Norris hammers it angle.
Oh, and a service error will give a 3rd match point to UCLA.
Love the communication in the check-in by Whitmarsh and Powers, making sure they're on the same page.
They certainly know what pressure feels like. Audrey Norris.
There was a deflection off Riley Powers' block, so that ball had to go over the net. That's why Jaden Whitmarsh didn't go after it. But this game back and forth. USC on the better side. They want to try and score a point before they change back.
USC has had 2 set points, UCLA 3 match points.
And right! Yeah!
Powers slams it down. 4th match point, UCLA.
and the side change. Riley Powers, perfect pass, good apex set. Look at the aggressive approach. Riley Powers.
Now it will be UCLA serving, and they had to ramp up that serve to
Tighter, people get a little bit more tentative.
chance to finish it. Call them clutch! The